Greetings. This is Naya Tai with NNV News. Today we have a special guest that will be with us shortly. Her name is Amina Lee. So she is a painter, she is an activist, she's a teacher, and she's just an artist in general. So while we wait for her to join with us today, you all can go ahead and follow us on Instagram at NNV News, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, NNV News. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day today. And as soon as our guest joins, then we will start. Hello, how are you doing today? So as soon as our guest speaker joins, we will start. Our topic today will be art. So creativity, art, and using your creativity on an everyday basis. Our guest speaker today is Amina Lee. She is a painter, she is an activist, she is an artist, and she's a member of the Nation of Islam. Here we go. We are about to start. Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry, my voice is going away. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can.
Let me try to move back. Okay. So before we start, I just wanted to say that I saw your recent pictures with Sister Safia for ASM 19, and they were beautiful.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Thank you. I'm so honored to be part of that shoot with so many beautiful, strong women. And I'm just a fan of her work. You know, she's what she stands for, and the message behind the scarf on justice, women and justice, is amazing. And I'm just honored to be part of that amazing women artist group.
Yes, it was truly beautiful. Okay, so I
It's
guess
great to meet you, actually.
it's great to meet you too.
We were on that with the translating the message, right, in different languages. And you were in that video, spoke Cantonese, and you were on there. So beautiful. But yes, it's great to finally meet you. I love all the work that you do.
Oh, praise to Allah. Thank you. It's wonderful to meet you as well. I believe at 10:10:15, were you on the stage at 10:10:15?
I wasn't. I believe that was Vivian.
All I know is my mom was up there. So I was just wondering if you knew her. But okay.
Yes, Vivian. She's from Oakland, same town where I'm from. But yes, that's my sister.
Oh, yes, ma'am. All right. So we can just go ahead and jump into our questions today. So do you mind introducing yourself first and just letting us know just a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name is Amina Lay, and I am a registered Muslim in the nation. I am a full-time artist. I'm a teacher at Muhammad University of Islam, as well as a live painter. I provide live artistry for different corporate events, retail spots. I'm actually doing a live event at Saks coming soon, actually next week. I illustrate children's books. I do murals. I'm also a makeup artist. I have my own t-shirt line. So a full-time artist in different forms, just passionate about the arts.
Yes, ma'am. You seem to really have it going on.
Oh.
You're dabbling into a little bit of everything, but you're doing so wonderful at it all. So, how did you become a painter? How did you really get into that?
I mean, the passion was always there since I was young, of course. My first art teacher was my grandmother. One of my most favorite memories is that, you know, when she told me stories, she would draw them out while telling me the stories. So I, that was just a favorite memory of mine. That is where my passion for storytelling and visual arts come from. You know, my first art teacher, my grandmother. She was a teacher in China, actually. So from there, it was just always a passion of mine since I was young. But it wasn't until I moved to New York in my early 20s that, you know, in New York, it's true what they say, you got to figure it out. You know, you have to survive. I was in a situation where, um, you know, at that point, art and painting was just a hobby. But in New York, you have to make it. You have to survive. There's no place like New York, right? You can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So I had to really quickly figure out what I was good at and how I can fit in and be able to survive in New York. And makeup was the first thing I could do. So I picked up my brushes and he'd give me a brush and I will figure it out. So got my makeup brushes and quickly became a national makeup artist for Dior,
Wow.
and also in New York Fashion Week as a makeup artist. Um, did editorials and films. So from there, I really was like, okay, you know, that was my first lesson in being a businesswoman, you know, learning sales, creating art, and having relationship with clients. So it was really in New York that everything kind of came together, you know, as a corporate artist first. And
Wow.
then every kind of from there, I had years as a corporate artist, but of course, you know, my passion doesn't just all about making money and capitalism and corporate, right? I wanted to also express something deeper in the spiritual elements of art. And so that's why I moved into just deciding to step down from being a corporate artist for Dior and really capturing everything that I learned in the corporate world and incorporating it into my own brand and into my own artistry. So I'm very grateful for New York and its environment, its cutthroat environment. It's, um, you know, I'm grateful for the corporate world as well, you know, because it allowed me to speak to women of all different backgrounds, um, know how to tell my story. And yeah, it was a good lesson, good hard lesson.
Yes, ma'am. I had absolutely no idea you were involved in makeup. I didn't know that. I didn't know that part at all.
Yeah, makeup is my first, I think, platform to really express my art. Makeup, you know, I mean, in New York, I had to figure it out how to make money, right?
Right.
And New York was is like fashion, you know, it's like the capital of fashion and New York Fashion Week, and there's so much inspiration, you know, sitting on the subway, looking at different styles and things like that. So it really was a great environment to cultivate my own style. You know, New York really kind of encouraged your own unique flavor in a way. So, you know, being a makeup artist was a really great beginning to really just love who you are and what you stand for, you know. Um, but it's so much, while I was a corporate artist, you know, makeup artist for Dior, um, I yearned to even break through the corporate barriers, you know, because I created art for a certain brand image, for a brand message. Um, Although it was like a great lesson in learning how to, um, you know, understand brand message and how to express it visually and then be able to sell it. It was a great lesson. But now I'm like, all right, I'm going to grab these tools and I'm going to have my own message, with my own style and my own aesthetic. So that was my beginning as really, uh, yeah, I'm an artist. This is my first step towards becoming a full-time artist.
Yes, ma'am. So, through your work, you express yourself, correct?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Why do you think it's important for everyone to do at least one creative activity so that they can express themselves?
Um, I think for me, art extends beyond just drawing well or painting well or creating music. I think being an artist takes on so many different forms, and it's a journey that starts, you know, from day one, from the very, very beginning. So I think it's more about your story more than the product. It's about your concepts, it's about your thinking, and all that is cultivated by your life's journey. And I think that Allah works through us, and our experiences in life create these amazing, amazing stories that can inspire and influence others. So it's so important for people to be expressive and creative and really solidify your voice, because I mean, look how God works through you. Look at all the trials and victories, and all these unique stories that we can share with each other, that really build bridges and really create unity. So it's important for us to create our own voice, so collectively we can unify and come together. So I believe artistry is just beyond rapping or singing or dancing. It's about knowing how to tell your story. It's about loving who you are, and really finding your voice and sharing that, because you deserve to share your story with the world, and we need to hear it. So that's why it's important.
I love that explanation. I just want to say, I love how passionate you are when you talk about this. You just have this beautiful, bright smile on your face.
I love this. I mean, I live this. I mean, it hasn't been an easy journey, right? To become like a full-time women artist, right? The decision to step down from the corporate world and step out on faith and believe that Allah has a purpose for you, and you just jump. I think that in itself is not easy. It's not easy. It's an everyday uh, struggle, but it's a beautiful struggle. So yeah, I'm gonna be passionate about this because this is the path I chose, and you gotta love your path, you know, love your
Absolutely.
story. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. What advice do you have to give to any artist that is just trying to really express themselves and get themselves out there?
Um, I would say don't focus too much on, the I think there's a lot of, and these are important things that go along with it, right? Like marketing or having your presence on social media, or what's the demand and things like that. And I think those are important, but I think the initial focus and the most important thing is to build your foundation, which is cultivating you. I don't feel like you should be pressured to look like anybody else, or to have this marketing image or things like that, because I think that when you really know who you are and you're patient with your journey, allowing the journey to build you, um, knowing that every experience, it may not align with your thought, like this is what, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be over there making this amount of money, or I'm supposed to be having these many followers on social media, or I would say take that focus off from there and really focus on you. I remember, my first job, I was a makeup artist behind the counter at Lord and Taylor on Fifth Avenue, And I'm like, I'm a painter. I want to do murals. Why am I behind the counter? You know, why am I wearing this uniform and I gotta make $2,000 in sales today? Why? I'm an artist. I don't want to do this. I don't want to clock in and clock out. But you know, it's these experiences that um, that can really make you stand out, and there's gems in there. You know, a lot push you and you think like I'm not supposed to be here, but you're there for a certain reason. As long as you're grateful in that present moment, you can pick up the lessons that you need in order to get to the next step. So when I was a full-time makeup artist behind the counter, you know, I was like, I don't want to do retail. I can't stand retail. But retail taught me how to connect with women of all different backgrounds, culture, how to sell. You need to know how to sell. You know, you need to know how to connect with others. If you're an artist, you have a product, you got to be able to um, express and articulate what is it that you're selling, you know? And so retail taught me that. Retail taught me patience, rise above emotions and thinking of God, because you got all different type of personalities coming at you. And as women, when you sell, you feel everybody's energy, right? So you know how to regulate and you know how to communicate effectively. And so it was these skills that I learned that allowed me to become a national makeup artist, that allowed me to be able to advertise my skills, tell my story effectively to agencies, to do editorials, to do films, um, to you know, it is all the skills that I needed. So I would say cultivate you, be present, be grateful for wherever you are, because that is where you gain the lessons that you need to get to the next level. And never judge where you are.
Yes. I appreciate that you just shared that with us because it's definitely true. The journey is what helps create you into what you are now. And so if you had like without that journey, you wouldn't be who you are. I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't have to go through something. So thank you for sharing that with us today. Um
Yeah.
so I remember you mentioned earlier that you started your own t-shirt line. Am I correct?
Yes.
Clothing line.
Yeah.
So
My own t-shirt. Mm-hmm.
what was your what was your idea behind your designs for your t-shirts?
Well, the t-shirt initially came to my mind because I couldn't find the t-shirts I really want to wear, to be honest with you. You know, I kind of, you know, I felt like the t-shirts for women out there were like, oh, it's a little too girly for me, or it wasn't the aesthetic that I want, or like I want like really strong statements, but I also want to be beautiful too, or some were too political and it was like too masculine looking, and then there was like some that were really girly, and I'm like, well, I want something a little bit more bold, you know. So I just decided to create my own designs. Like, what do I want to wear, you know? So my first design, I think many of you may know, is the messenger, the most envoy Elijah Muhammad. And I actually painted that during Ramadan, and my first Ramadan as an MGT. So to celebrate Ramadan, I'm like, I am going to paint um, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, because that's what I want to focus on right now. Um, and I want to do in watercolor. I've never seen him in watercolor. I love watercolor because there's such a softness about it. The texture of watercolor is it's fluid, it's sheer. I think it provokes a certain feeling of softness, but I want to do it in strength and showed his, you know, universal message. So I created that, and I really didn't expect to make it into a t-shirt line, but I think when I wore it and I did my first shirt, there was so many requests, and I'm so grateful for the response that I've had. So there's definitely going to be more designs, really cool designs about unity, about unity of the original family, of but beautiful too, that women and men and children can wear.
Yes, ma'am. It was a really beautiful design. I did see it. It was blue and it was really beautiful. And it did portray a great message as well.
Thank you. Praise be to
You're
Allah.
welcome. So, can we just let our viewers know real fast how we can purchase one of your shirts or some of your artwork?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Amina Lay. And there's a shop on there. And then my website is laystory.com, Leistory.com. And there's a shop on there as well. So, yes, you can view
Thank
my
you.
print, shirts, my originals. Yes. And I'm also offering one-on-one art courses as well. So you can also find that on my site.
I could use one of those.
I
So,
think we all do. I think it's such a good form of meditation.
okay. So, moving on to our next question. When it comes to passion, why do you believe it's important for everyone to follow their own passion rather than just living the life that someone else wants them to live?
I think that Allah puts within us, our own gifts. I believe everyone is an artist. I believe everyone is an artist. Um, and with that, artists can take on so many different. So to find your unique passion and what you're really want to say to this world, that's the art. Your life is the art, not exactly your music or the product. You are the art. And I really want people to focus more on they are the art, so follow your passion, follow whatever that your heart guides you. It's that art is a constant conversation with you and God. And even your daily life experiences, you know it's all art. So the more you embrace it and more you're present with it, then the greater you are as an artist. So even if you're a mechanic or you're a chef, right, or an athlete, I think everything is art. you know a lot of there is
Absolutely.
better.
Everything is art.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
just,
why I like teach my children, the younger children, the younger students. Um, I teach about emotional intelligence, and how colors can tie with emotions. I want them to understand about confidence as well, and being able to also be there for others. Um, I want them to have a tool that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives, that there's a safe space within them that they can create and also help others as well. So at such a young age, as children, it's so important for young folks to know that there's always a safe space. There's always someone that will never judge them. You know? So yes, follow your passion, develop your voice.
that's beautiful. That really is. I just love your energy and I love the fact that you're so passionate about this and that even when in the school setting, because I know, at least when it comes to public schools, teachers, they just teach you what needs to be taught, but they don't teach you really anything deeper than that. So I really appreciate this. It's truly beautiful because
Thank
art is everything. And yes, different colors tie into different emotions. I'm back. I'm sorry. But
Oh,
yeah,
there you are. Okay.
that's truly beautiful.
Yeah, no, yeah. When teaching at Muhammad University of Islam, even talking to parents, I say that even though I teach art, I'm actually trying to help them even be better at science or even be better at math. Art is just a tool for them to elevate them and help them in other subjects. It's being able to think critically. It's able to think outside the box. How does whatever subject that you're studying, how does it connect back to you? How are you, in what role do you play in what you're studying in the bigger scheme of things, you know? How can you tell a story from all the news things that you're learning? So I sometimes feel like I have to remind parents, like, okay, well, you know, because some parents would tell me, like, oh, well, I want them to do their math and their English first, and then, you know, we'll get to art later. That's just art homework, you know. But I also want to remind the parents that no, sometimes you need to. Oh, are you there?
Yes, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what
No,
happened.
you're good. You're good. Um, so yeah, teaching art is super important for the children.
Definitely. So, what age ranges do you teach? Do you teach from K through
Uh,
12?
Last year, I taught middle and high school students. This year, I'm teaching second, third, fourth, and fifth. And most of the students I teach in my own business in art, they're about the ages from 6 to 12. And I love it.
Oh,
I love it. I mean, they're just, we really underestimate our children, you know, and what they can come up with. I have so much fun with them. Like they're telling me what to teach them. To be honest, I give them a little bit of something, and they create something completely even better. You know, and how they process everything. So yeah, yeah. No, they're just God. It's just such a joy. I love it. It's my happy place when I teach children art. Yeah.
yes.
I know some
Do
parents
you
are like,
think?
why are you always all their art? Huh?
No, you can go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
You can go
No,
first.
it's like some people, oh, you gotta, you know, it's like, why are you saying all my, you know, my child's art is always good? I'm like, cause it is. It is good, you know? It's like, is it really? Are you all, you know? I'm like, no, it's great. You know, this is their style. I'm not gonna teach you how to paint like me. I want to teach you how to paint like you, the best you know? So,
Absolutely. Why do you
yeah.
think it's important to start children being artistic young rather than them getting into it later on in their life?
I think they're at an age where they're so open. And they're also like, I remember when you're young, like we get excited about stuff easily, about the simple things. Like we just see a couple of tubes of paint and we're like, ooh, you know, we're excited, you know? And then older we get, it's just like, all right, what's in it for me, you know? But yeah, I think young children, when they see color, they're just like, okay, what's going on? What's up? What are we doing today? You know? And with that type of joy over simple things, I hope that I can give them the gift of maintaining that, and that it's a space. It's not just a reaction. It's a space within them that I can carry within them for the rest of their lives, to find beauty and to find joy in every little thing. And I hope that that can also translate into challenging moments too. We're going to have our dark moments in life, but if we can find the light and we can identify the light and find the joy, even within challenging moments, to be grateful, um, it can help so, so much, you know. So I think my courses also integrate art therapy as well, um, because we got to keep our inner child alive. You know, I think being artist is, I think a quote that said, being an artist is a child that survived. I want a child that thrives, you know. So keep that child, inner child alive. You know, we need that.
Absolutely. I feel like I could continue to have this conversation on and on with you, but I know we do have a limited amount of time here. Is there any last piece of advice that you'd like to leave our viewers with today?
I think that's the main thing. I think I just said it just now, just while I was talking. Keep your inner child alive. Play. You know, I think especially right now, it's pretty heavy right now in the world, right? We're going through a huge shift, going through a huge transition. If we could be able to find the joy, find time to play a little bit, um, and to find the light and the beauty in every little moments, I think it will carry us through. So maybe just 5 to 10 minutes of just writing in your journal, doodling, you know, it's, gosh, we deserve like a little breather in between, and then we can roll up our sleeves and keep going, right? But that allowing that inner child to rest within us is going to carry us through. It's going to carry us through no matter what's going on. And tell your story. Tell your story. All that's, you know, that happened in your life. You know, don't let anyone tell you that went wrong or this is not okay or whatever. No, that's what creates you. You're beautiful because of everything that you've been through. And we want to hear it. So,
Absolutely. And for those who don't know what exactly art can consist of, it's not just painting, it's not just drawing. It also includes music, sports, even cooking, knitting, sewing, embroidering. It's so many different things.
yes, yes, absolutely. I think it's a journey of spiritual cultivation. So, no matter what path you choose or what you do, it's being the best you and then putting God first, you know, reflecting God in whatever that you do. You're an artist. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
I'm
just
so
love
grateful.
this conversation.
Well, I'm here. I'm just very honored and grateful that you thought of me and that can be part of your interview and the show. I love what you guys are doing with the news and all the subjects that you guys are sharing, from gardening to art to the, you know, news. Thank you so much for what you guys do, and thank you for having me. If you want me next, I'll come back. We can have other discussions. I'm here. So thank you so much.
All praise to Allah. Yes, ma'am. We definitely want you back. And we appreciate, on behalf of everybody at NNV News, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a well needed discussion. It truly
Yeah,
was.
thank you. Thank you. Praise be to Allah. Have a blessed, beautiful day. I see a lot
You
of
too.
people that I see on Instagram Live, Brother Charles.
Yes.
Thank
So we have
you.
to start planning for part two. Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
down. And how about women and artists? Yeah, women artists. Yeah, I'm down. Whatever it is.
Yes, ma'am. So before we go, one last time, do you mind saying your social media and your website just so that everybody can check you out?
Yes, ma'am. My Instagram is at Amina Lay, Amina. My website is laystory.com. One word, Leistory.com.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so very much for tuning in today. Please follow us on Instagram at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, NNV News. Have a blessed day.
You too, sisters. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.